should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Oh my goodness, Miss Scorpio, thank you so much for gifting 5 Speculation Station memberships. I did just put out a video and I got another one to put out today. I was up in the garden this morning listening to a YouTube channel we're going to talk about. Oh no, hold on. I figured that was going to happen. There was going to be 2 live streams. Okay, hopefully we're still on. I'm trying to get into my live stream so I can see who those went to. I really appreciate that, Miss Scorpio. So I was up in the garden this morning with the geese, and I did get to till a row, but they were like literally sitting on my flip-flops, so it was very hard. So I've got a very short video to upload for y'all, and I did upload a 20-minute video recently for you guys that are in Speculation Station. That's where I get a little bit more personal. Okay, Miss Scorpio gifted 5 memberships, and those went to Nonsense Separated, like NON space SENSE, Gen X, Gen 8, Kathleen, Beth Maxwell, and Jaggy B. Yes, Jaggy B. If you were gifted from Miss Scorpio Rising and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Miss Scorpio thank you, and I will grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Miss Scorpio, for that. That was so good. That was so sweet of you and supportive. I really appreciate that. It's good to see you, Veronica, Curious Christine. Yes, thank you for the amazing generosity. Bad Girl, Katia, True Crime Addict 8 is here. I really enjoyed the live stream yesterday. That was a lot of fun with you, Miss Katia. Hilsandra's here. Katie's here. There's Katie. Good to see you. Bad Girl, Hannah UK. I'm so glad y'all are here. Blue Jay, Southern Cats, Edith, my lovely Abella said Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Edith, Chloe Moon, Joyous Inn. It's so good to see y'all, Miss Scorpio Rising. Kara's here. Yes, Kara's here. Good to see you. Da-dum. Oh, it just jumped. A name here is good to see you. These nuts in the house. Good to see you. Red Moon is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Eminem, hello. Nice to meet you. Cindy from sunny South Florida is here. I think my chat just jumped again. Oh, it's me. And Amy, good to see you. I'm so glad you are both here. Okay. If I missed you, comment again and I will shout you out. So this morning, yes, happy Pride Month, NS Hippie. Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Rachel's here. This morning, I was talking in a live stream about Jack and Lily Sullivan, and I was trying to share the wonderful pictures that Abellis sent me about the pipeline. We were talking about that, and I went up on somebody's panel and I found out some new information that I did not know. So we're going to talk about a couple of news articles and then we will talk about the panel I went on. I went on Granny's Watching's panel. And so I'm going to drop her link because I will be going over some of her stuff. Wrong button. I will be going over some of her stuff. Let me see. I think that's it. Let me click this link and see. Yep, that's it. Okay, I'm going to pin her link to the top because most of this information I found out while I was on her panel, which is really awesome. So there is her link. If you have not subscribed to her, please do so. Just looking at the names real quick. Yes, please hit the thumbs up if y'all don't mind. Oh, I'm trying to highlight comments on my phone. Okay, I'm confused. It's by railroad tracks and a pipeline. You know, I've heard about railroad tracks, but I haven't found the railroad tracks yet. We need to look at a map, and there is one on this page. And if you guys have been here, you have seen Sorry, I shared the wrong one. You have seen the picture that Abellis did of the pipeline, and if you look, that is exactly where Abellis said it was. Because remember, in hers, which actually I can pull up. Hold on just a minute. I did drop the link if anybody wants to come up. I gotta go through all these pictures. Lord have mercy, I gotta delete some of these photos off of my computer. There we are. All right, let me see. Okay, so you see in this picture, the house is right here. The pipeline is right here in yellow. And then the power line is over here, okay? So we got the house, the pipeline, and the power line. Now we're going to look at what Abellis shared with us over the past couple of weeks. Oh, and would you look at that? Look, look. There's the house, there's the pipeline, and there's the power line. Wow. Looks like Abellis had it right. Thank you, Abellis, and congratulations for having it right. So they were talking about the gas line and then the house. I haven't seen railroad tracks though, and I have heard quite a bit about it. Maybe the railroad tracks might be this right here, or that could be another road. Good question. I am not sure where the railroad tracks would be. This road is highlighted. I don't know if they've highlighted everywhere. I mean, obviously that's a road too because those are cul-de-sacs. And then that road's there. So I'm not sure. All right, let's go back to the article. Hey, Allie X. Oh, my Abellis is here and I didn't even see her. Hold on, Abellis. Hello, Abellis. So nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. Hi, everybody. Hi, Basil.
He's not in here yet, but he will be. I think he's in there under the table.
Oh, and hi, Geese. I don't want anybody to be jealous.
They're in there chilling. They went up to the garden this morning and they really enjoyed it. They seem to.
That's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
So they stole even my color. I'm just joking.
Oh, they did. I didn't even notice. Yeah, they used the yellow and everything. Interesting. So yeah, that was definitely the pipeline. We have heard that it is underground. I think we might need to look at the other one first, because I think that one came after. We'll see. Okay, so I had been looking for this video where Daniel talks and finally found it. I had it all along. I didn't even realize it. So we're going to jump into this article. This article is from the CBC, and it's the actual video where Daniel talks. It's from 3 days ago, and it's titled Still No Sign of Lily and Jack Sullivan After 4 Weeks. The article is from the CBC titled 4 Weeks After Disappearance of Nova Scotia Children, Stepfather Remains Hopeful. Now, it's probably going to do an ad. But
it's been
oh, yeah,
Let
I knew
QVC
it would.
make this your summer.
Hold on just a minute. You know, they got to have ads. If it was on YouTube, I wouldn't have ads, but it's not. Diamonds? Hello and welcome. Yep, there you are. Oh, hold on. Nope, wrong page. Take that back a little bit. Okay. Hello, Diamonds, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay. Oh, I lost Abellis. I was like, where is Bellis? Hey, Abellis. Welcome back.
Thank you. I don't know why everything went black.
That's interesting. There's been some things going on YouTube and StreamYard lately that's kind of questionable. I don't know if they're doing updates or what.
And I made a mistake to not update my phone, and the touch screen would not work.
Oh, wow. I heard there
Yeah.
was updates and things. You know, I was trying to figure out today also how, hey, Shauna, how they have the little purple crayons in chat. I'm going to work on trying to figure that out. I don't know how we do it.
Little what? I'm sorry?
There's like a little purple crayon, like a crown. I know I say crown like what you write with, but it's a thing you put the crown you put on your head.
Yeah.
There's like little crowns in chat that people have. I don't know how to do it. I was trying to figure it out. Maybe he would know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Sorry, sidetracking monkey brain. All right. So this is the This is the news interview Daniel did with CBC on Friday.
Just before you start,
Mm-hmm.
I sent you on Discord a 3-hour-old article. I'm not sure if it's CBC or Global or whatever.
Okay, I did email that article to myself, so I haven't had a chance to read it. So
Okay.
I'll
It,
get that up while we watch this, and then we'll talk about that.
okay. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
basically just a list of the dates and like the timeline. And then they mentioned Daniel mentions 2 footprints in the yard pointing towards the road. Have we heard that before? I haven't heard that before.
I've heard there was footprints found, but I thought it was by the house in the beginning, and then there was one found by the pipeline. The rumor is they restarted the search because they found 2 eroded boot prints by the pipeline, which I believe could be true. I don't
Yes.
remember hearing about it being by the road, but I could be wrong.
Not by the road, pointing towards the road.
Pointing towards the road. Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, so that's it.
Hey, Mercedes. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna pull it up. You know, Blue Jay, we're gonna talk about that because I found some stuff today, kind of talking about Daniel and Malaya's relationship that I found pretty interesting. Granny's watching showed it to me, so we're gonna talk about that next or in a few minutes, sometime today.
It's been 4 weeks since Daniel Martel has seen his stepchildren. 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing Friday, May 2nd, after they wandered out of their Pictou County home. They have not been found after weeks of extensive searching the heavily wooded area.
Every day when I wake up, it's just feels like I'm reliving a nightmare of May 2nd. But the main feelings of from sadness have just turned to anger because there's no evidence as of after 1 month, and it's really taken a toll.
On Friday, RCMP say ground search and rescue crews and police will return to the area this weekend, focusing on a nearby pipeline trail where a boot print was previously located.
I know that they're working hard and they're using every resource they have, and it makes me hopeful because that's all we have at this point is just hope.
Tob, thank you for being here. Tob said, hello, all from Ontario, Canada. I cannot believe this case is not solved yet. This is heartbreaking. The search and rescue found a footprint a couple weeks ago. They wanted to search around that area. Thank you for that. And thank you for being here. Hey, JDR. JDR speculates he wants all this to go away so he can get back to normal and have another girlfriend, in my opinion. Well, I mean, I hope his life gets back to normal. I don't know about another girlfriend. I kind of feel indifferent, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. Hey, Miss Sarah, thank you for being here. Please remember to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Yes, to help our channel grow. Thank you, Miss Sarah. Good to see you. I hope you have a good day at work, sweetheart.
Vigil of flowers and stuffed animals has grown in recent weeks outside the RCMP station in nearby Stellarton.
That is so sad.
Since May 2nd, when Lily and Jack went missing, people here in Pictou County are still struggling to understand what happened and why there are still no answers.
Every day, almost, I go by the RCMP, and it's just so tragic, just so tragic. You know, I just feel so bad for their whole family. I'm hoping that they find them.
It just doesn't look good, but I hope I'm wrong.
The warden of Pictou County says many people are on edge and children are worried about playing outside.
Oh, I think it's mostly a mood of anxiety, maybe, and frustration. They too can't believe that there's not an answer by this long and this many people looking.
The RCMP have confirmed Lily and Jack were seen on camera with family the day before they went missing. Police are asking anyone who was on Gairloch Road between April 28th and May 2nd to share their dash cam or other footage with RCMP. Martel says every detail helps and could lead to finding Lily and Jack.
I'm gonna keep fighting for the rest of my life to find these kids. That's the only goal I have at this point.
Haley Ryan, CBC News, Lansdowne Station.
I saw where they were doing an aerial shot of the yard. So, I mean, okay, when we see the pictures of the cars, that's about halfway, a little over halfway, or halfway down the driveway. So that's about how far they'd have to walk. And oh, that area that you were talking about, Abellis, is still there because we can see it clearly here. Um, I will pull up the picture. Joyous N, thank you for being a member for 3 months. That is so amazing. 3 entire months. That is amazing. Thank you so much for your support. That is awesome. I really appreciate that. I want to show y'all what Abellis, I don't know, I think Abellis is muted. Yeah, okay. So before we were looking at,
Sorry,
oh no,
I'm
you're
here.
good. I apologize. I didn't mean to like call you and then
No, no.
we were looking at this picture that Abella sent us, and she was pointing at this thing right here. Now, this picture is obviously before all the cars and all the things were there. And she was talking about this hole here. And then if we go back to the article that we were just on, you can see that thing is there right here.
Looks like water to me.
Mm-hmm. But the area is cleared.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
I would like to know um, where they were seen as a family the day before,
That is a good question.
and why didn't Daniel mention that? Nobody said we went out the day before. They said Lily was sick, right?
Yeah, they said Lily was sick, and then the only mention of them being out the day before was that the police verified that somebody had seen them in public. Hey, Ava and Jenny Jen, good to see y'all.
Yeah,
Um, so we don't know really, and if they're sick, why are they going out? Why are they so sick they can't go to school, but we're going out in public?
yeah. Unless they were going to the doctors or something like that, but nobody has said when and when exactly or where they were seen.
Um, Conta Abellis has birds outside of her house, the sparrows, and they're babies and they're learning to fly. So, yeah, it's a
If
bird.
if they bother you, let me know. I'll close the window.
Oh, you're okay.
No, I mean if,
Um,
for chat, if it's bugging them.
okay. I want to
And
jump.
and for you too. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're good. Um, okay. Let me see where this one is. I will do this I will read this article real quick. This is from the 31st, and then we're going to jump to the article Abellis just sent me from 3 hours ago. This one says, with few leads, search for missing Nova Scotia kids focuses on area where boot print found. And this was posted May 31st. It says searchers looking for two missing kids in Pictou County on Saturday scoured the area where a boot print was found in a previous search. But searchers concede that they have little to go on and no way of knowing if the boot print is even related to Lily Sullivan 6 and Jack Sullivan 4, who were reported missing May 2nd. So that tells me that they just saw a boot print, not necessarily a child size or an adult size. And I would like to know what size it was too. I've heard that it was child size, but if there's an adult size footprint along that pipeline, who's walking the pipeline and getting close to where these children live?
Exactly.
Hey, AM. Okay.
If it was me, I would be checking. Well, I'd be asking the men, like Daniel and his brother, if they walked there, and then checking the footprints on the sole of their footwear to find out if it's them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's important to know whether it's child size or adult size. I need to know. Yeah, that's important. And like I said, I have heard it was child size. Brian, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it, and it's nice to meet you. Um, I appreciate you seeing me on Granny's. I was actually talking about her, and I'm going to talk about a couple of things from that live stream. I do have her pinned at the top, but we got a minute before we'll get there. So continuing on this article, and thank you for again for being here. They said, quote, "We don't know for sure if it was from the children, but it's the only real thing we've had to go on thus far," unquote, said Amy Hansen of Colchester Ground Search and Rescue, who is managing the search this weekend. Approximately 75 volunteers resumed the search on Saturday. Lily and Jack Sullivan went missing from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, just over 4 weeks ago. The rural area is about 140 kilometers northeast of Halifax. Hansen said there has been no new evidence since the search was suspended 2 weeks ago on May 17th, but crews have returned this weekend to cover particular areas of interest. She said the search was focused on Lansdowne Lake and a nearby pipeline trail where the boot print was located. Hansen said the woods are full of brush and debris that have made it difficult for the searchers. Thus far, crews have done a grid search of about 6 kilometers. Hansen expects them to search an additional 1 or 2 square kilometers this weekend. And then that's the pipeline or the area they're searching.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder if the railroad tracks are at the bottom of that yellow line. So there's Lansdowne Road, and then there is this other line going along.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah,
Maybe. It makes sense because railroad tracks usually do stay close to the road.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely something, and it's not marked as a road, so. Oh, it even looks like kind of railroad tracks right there, so that probably
Mm-hmm.
is the railroad tracks. Okay, so we might have located the railroad tracks, and they do cross over the pipeline area right there. Home is right there. Railroad tracks are, I don't know about how far that would be. Maybe, oh, I don't have the key. Yeah.
Well, it's the house to the yellow line is about a kilometer. That would be maybe just
Uh,
a few hundred meters.
yeah, not very far at all.
No,
Which which isn't we have railroad tracks here and I walk the railroad tracks a lot and run into people also walking the railroad tracks, so somebody could have been snooping around in that area.
yeah,
I feel like with them getting the trail cam footage from the area, that they might think that they're checking to see if somebody was kind of hanging out in the area and kind of watching the kids and waiting for a moment to kind of, snatch them or strike.
right.
Um, Tam, I'm sorry if I called you Tom. Tam says, allegedly speculating, have you heard about the remains just found and confirmed to be Justin McDonald's? The remains were found 20 minutes from where his car was found. How did the searchers miss? I haven't heard about that one in particular, but I have heard about cases like that. I saw this one case where this guy literally left his house and walked to Dollar General, and a storm hit. I think it was a storm hit or something. Anyway, they searched for this man for like 9 years, and it turned out that he was in a culvert like 10 feet from the house, and people think
Oh,
that he went to get shelter there from the storm and somehow hit his head or died or something.
no, my goodness.
Yeah, and they searched for like 9 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Uh, Anybody coming in? Hello. I'm sorry. Just Jerica, good to see you. And Scratch the Paint, good to see you. Alex said, I live on a gas pipeline for consumers energy, and it's monitored daily. They do flyovers and also walk or drive it when necessary.
Hmm.
That's interesting. His dad found him. He never stopped searching, did more than the authorities. I live in the area. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's sad.
Yeah, that is sad. Um, it says, in addition to the Colchester team, ground and search rescue teams from Pick 2, Straight, East Hants, Spring Hill, Pugwash, and Halifax are also helping out today. Quote, we're actually starting to see people that just physically and emotionally can't return to the search at this point, said Hansen. It's very taxing on the members.
Hmm.
On Friday, Daniel Martell, the children's stepfather, told CBC that the last month has been painful for his family. Every day when I wake up, it feels like I'm reliving a nightmare. He said the main feelings of sadness just turn to anger because there's no evidence after 1 month. The search for the children will continue until Sunday evening, bearing any development, said Hansen. Okay, so let's go to the one you sent me, and then we'll talk about some of these other things that I found. Now, I can't verify, but
So it's basically a timeline that you've given us, a few times. So it's not nothing. I didn't see all that much that's new,
okay.
except for the two little footprints that were facing the road. I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah, that's interesting. Um, I'm looking, yeah, I want to dig into that. Brenda,
Yeah.
thank you for being here. Brenda said, let's not forget 6 a.m. May 2nd, Malaya called the school, and Daniel mentioned sunrise when he noticed the kids were gone. Sunrise May 2nd was at 6:02 a.m. Within a short time, they were reported gone. Well, okay, so dispatch audio says they were last seen in their room at 8 a.m. Now, could that be a lie? Absolutely. But they didn't call until 9:40 or 10 o'clock. That makes me believe. Number one, I can't verify if Malaya called the school at 6 a.m. unless I had something from the school. That's being brought to us by text messages from Daniel and text messages from the biological father's grandmother. The biological father's grandmother also said that the biological father had no idea that the kids were even living at that residence, and they had been living there for 3 years from what we've been told. So it tells me he wasn't really involved. I'm going to assume that she called the school at 6 a.m. because it makes sense. She could have been up and down with the baby, realized, or thought about it and been like, yeah, they're not going to school today for whatever reason, and called. I would think if it was at 6 a.m., that dispatch would have been called by 8 o'clock. I'm thinking that they last saw them at 8 o'clock, laid down, and then, realized they didn't hear them. And then if we go all the way to 9:40, close to 10 o'clock, that does give them time to have laid back down, wake up, realize that they didn't see them, go looking around the area, and then call 911. I think. That's just my opinion.
That sounds like a good theory.
It's new. Everyone in chat gets numbered. If you send a super chat, it moves your name to the top. I don't. Oh no, you don't. You don't need to buy me anything, sweetheart. I was just wondering how it did it. If I needed to turn something on, don't ever think you need to do anything. I appreciate you being here. So she called the school before the police. Yeah, but it makes sense that she would call the school and say they're not going to be here and probably laid eyes on them at that time. And then it's a couple of hours later that she realizes that she doesn't hear them anymore and they're not there. Now, to be fair, they said that they didn't lay eyes on them that morning, or that's what's being said. That's what I've heard. They just saw that Lily was popping her head in and out of the bedroom and Jack was playing in the kitchen.
Yeah,
So,
she called the school because Lily was sick, not because the kids were missing
right.
at that point. I think that's what. Sorry, who was it who just asked if they
A
called
name
the police?
a
Okay,
name here.
yeah. So I think she called because Lily was sick, and then later realized that they were missing.
AM said this case is weird. It's like nothing adds up. So sad. It is.
Yeah.
And AM said, in my opinion, he was supposed to be looking out for the kids while she got some rest. No dogs barking. I would say if kids were abducted, it had to be someone dogs knew. Is there dogs on the property? That's interesting. And that's been my theory from the beginning. I think she got upset because he was supposed to be watching the kids while she laid back down. And then she saw him in there laying with her and was like, what are you doing? They're the kids. Where are they? And that's when all this happened. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we'll have to look at. I don't know if the Daniel's mother and brother, if they had a dog, but that would make sense to me because they have that little green fence around the area that would be their little yard. But
Oh, yeah.
but I'll look later and see, or if you want, we can do it now. If you want to show an aerial picture, see if there is any sign of a dog, like a little dog house or dog bowls for water or something like that.
Somebody had said that they had seen dog bowls out by the grandmother's RV. I think that we had found that before, so we will pull that back up. I do have that article. We are going to go over it. I'm just kind of all over the place today.
We saw flower pots by the little gate too.
Yes. So we need to go way back. I think it was. Cara, thank you so very much for gifting 10 speculation station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really, really appreciate that. Okay, this is the time period. I'm going to see if I can see who those went to real quick. That was so awesome and so sweet of you. Okay, those went to Sammy's Girl, Sadie Smith, Wonder Woman, Missy Monroe, Neek Ann 68, Cheryl, Shayna Darkness, Nichols Worth, My 10 Cents, Sassy, and Lizzie Bartley. If you were gifted from Cara and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Cara thank you, and I will grab the Polar Express to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cara. So I do have this aerial shot. Somebody said they saw dog bowls back here, but I just see the flower pots so far.
Yeah.
We can look and see if we see anything else. But I mean, if they feed the dogs in the house, we wouldn't necessarily see it. They were saying that the mother or the grandmother was saying that she had dogs, and I
Right.
believe it.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody out in the bush like that would have dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything necessarily, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
What gets me is that he's fighting to find the children that aren't biologically his while she disappears faster than a bad smell. Yeah. Hey, Two-Eyed. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Let me pull up this article again, and we'll watch this video that you sent me so kindly.
You're welcome. The invoice is in the mail.
Okay.
It was from their home in a deeply rural part of Nova Scotia that 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack seem to have disappeared without a trace. Despite multiple searches, there's been no sign and little information until the Nova Scotia RCMP released an important detail.
We have confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st.
The children were reported missing the morning of Friday, May 2nd. Their mother has said they'd been kept home sick that day and the day before. A massive search followed until May 7th, when police announced efforts would be scaled back. Additional searches were held throughout the month. Confirmation they were seen on May 1st helps fill out the timeline.
It just shows continuity of who saw them last. Now, they don't say where they saw them.
Retired police staff Sergeant Jim Hoskins isn't involved in the case, but says it's rare for two children to go missing together. And since RCMP said early on there was no evidence of abduction.
If it's not a voluntary trek into the woods, you only have one other option if there's no abduction. That option is a criminal investigation.
So far, this remains.
You know, we had talked about how it was odd that both children were taken, and it's not very statistically proven that two would be taken at the same time. But if somebody was lurking and watching and planning to take both, then it's possible, I suppose. I don't know how they got her without her screaming like she does.
Yeah. I don't mean to laugh, but yeah. I'm
Right.
not laughing at her, I'm laughing with her.
Right.
Remains a missing persons case. RCMP have been tight-lipped, but investigators are now asking for any video, like dashcam footage, taken the week the children went missing along the remote road beside their home, where residents live far apart and the woods are dense.
Everybody should come forward with any footage that they have, anything that's likely. I mean, every tip counts.
Donna, this case has generated an intense amount of attention online, sparking conspiracy theories and rampant speculation. The RCMP has cautioned the public to stick with credible sources of information as the work to find out what happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan approaches the 1 month mark.
Heidi Petracek in Halifax, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to try to get out of this video. Okay, and we'll read the article.
Get ready.
Who said that? Hold on. I hope that's the right. I might have pulled up the wrong one. Two-eyed. I'm so sorry that you have septic shock. That is awful. I hope you get better. I don't know if you could try to take niacin. It'll clean your blood out from what I understand. But I'm sure you've talked to doctors. That is scary. I'm so sorry. I hope you get better. So this article is titled Nova Scotia or NS Kids Missing Key Dates 1 month into Disappearance of Lily and Jack. It was updated June 2nd, which is today at 11:26 a.m. And it reads, it's a story that has gripped the province, the country, and beyond. 1 month after two young siblings went missing in Nova Scotia, there are seemingly no answers in the search for Lily and Jack Sullivan. To mark the somber milestone, a candlelight vigil is planned for Monday at 8:30 p.m. in Stellarton, Nova Scotia. Here's a timeline on what we know so far in the investigation. May 2nd, the sister and brother, aged 6 and 4, were reported missing on the morning of May 2nd from their home on Gerlach Road in Lansdowne Station, which is about 30 kilometers from New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. I just want to let y'all know I'm on a different page, so I can't highlight comments. Please don't think I'm ignoring you. Going back to this, the children's stepfather, Daniel Martell, says Lily and Jack were home Friday morning with him, his partner, and their baby. He said that when they noticed the children were missing, they immediately ran outside to look for them. Quote, I was ahead of the helicopters, ahead of the drones, screaming loud as I can until my throat hurt, running through water that was up to my waist, unquote, he said. Quote, they hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have come back into the house. The only two footprints are right beside the house facing the road, and that's it, unquote. So is that what you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay, I do remember hearing that there were boot prints beside the house in the beginning, and then I remember hearing that there was some by the pipeline.
Okay. So that's it. Yeah, I didn't remember the two by the house.
That girl, I know that's kind of a, dark, but I don't think they would be necessarily. I think the dogs would be able to locate them though.
Yeah. Hard to say. They're small, but it's still cool there at night, especially. So, and there's, they saw a bear print. So I don't know.
Yeah, they did see a bear print. You're right. It would depend a lot on the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Tam says, I'm thinking they may surface up on the water unless buried in the woods. This is my speculation. We were talking about the possibility that they could be in water. Like, would they surface soon? Actually, we'll look it up and see how long it would take if somebody was underwater. I think it's like 2 weeks.
Is it?
Depending on the weather, yeah, but I'm not sure on that.
Then there is possibility of branches snagging the clothing underwater,
Right. Yep. Man, there's probably a lot down there considering all the damage from the hurricane.
Yeah.
Can dogs smell if they're underwater? I think so, but I'm not positive. We need to ask Google.
I think we saw that. I think they do. I think when you looked up some what they could smell, and I think underwater was a possibility. Probably not very deep. I wouldn't say like 6 feet or anything, but
yep. It says dogs can smell underwater. I remember looking that up too.
Yeah. I wonder how deep they can smell.
It says dogs can smell underwater with a sense of smell so powerful that it can detect many things underwater. Some canines, such as police dogs, are trained to detect people, drugs, dead bodies, which would be cadaver dogs, and lost items underwater. However, their noses are designed for detecting scents carried by air molecules, not water molecules. Let's see how far, if it'll tell us that. 30 meters. A dog can
30
smell
meters?
underwater up to 30 meters.
Holy cow. That's like 90 feet.
Oh, wow.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm shocked, honestly.
That is amazing.
It's more than 90 feet, actually.
That is crazy.
It is.
So it says the time it takes for a small body to surface in water after death can vary depending on environmental factors. Factors such as body density, water temperature, death, and scavenging creatures play a role in determining how long it will take for a body to rise to the surface. Let's see if we add statistically. I know that's misspelled. Gives me the same answer. I think it's about 2 weeks. Let me see if this will tell us. Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
there we go.
Yeah. So if the water's 40 degrees, it would be 14 to 20 days, 50 degrees 10 to 14 days, 60 degrees 7 to 10 days, 70 degrees 3 to 7, and 80 1 to 2. I would think that water would What do you think the water would be at this time in that area?
It would be cold. I would
O-
say probably the top.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Where does
in
that
my
say?
opinion. I don't know, but don't quote me, but
Right.
I know
So
that I've gone scuba diving in lakes, and lakes at a depth of about, let me see if I can remember, lower than 15 feet, the water was always at 4 degrees Celsius. And this was in Canada, so I don't know about the rest of the world, but when I
right.
took scuba diving, um, my scuba diving course, that's what we were taught. So 4 degrees lower than 15 feet. And 4 degrees is what? Um, it's probably lower than 40 degrees. I'm not sure. You can, if you want to look it up, but
Let me see.
that's what I remember from my diving days.
I'm not going to share it. It says it's 4 degrees is 39.2 Fahrenheit, so it would be about 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and
So,
that's at 15 feet. So closer to the surface, it could or could not be higher.
right. Yeah, so I would say at least 14 to 20 days, possibly longer.
Yeah.
And we're going on 30. There is Ellie audio of the office finding the footprint, and the canine was going to the area, but another officer told him to go back to the command post. Yeah, I remember hearing that audio. I don't have that part of the audio. I have some of it, but not that part. Okay, we're going to go back to this. I've got so much to share with y'all today.
Yay.
Okay. It says RCMP said the siblings were believed to have, quote, wandered away, unquote. They noted that there was no evidence of abduction, so it didn't qualify for an Amber Alert. Martell called for the search to be expanded to provincial borders in case the children were abducted. May 3rd through 6th, ground search and rescue crews alongside police dogs, drones, and aircraft scoured the woods daily following the disappearance. There was upwards of 160 people on site pushing ahead through rainy and foggy conditions. Martell also told Global News he hasn't had contact with the children's mother since May 3rd when she left the area. Quote, "You don't have to trust my word, but I'm the only one doing media for Jack and Lily, trying to keep the story alive and get them found," unquote, he said in a recent interview. We reached by phone to the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. Okay. We reached by phone the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, said she had been advised by RCMP not to speak with media further. Her mother, Cindy Murray, also spoke with Global News at the time and said the family was hoping for a positive outcome. Hold on just a minute. Da, 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 da. Oh, the resident. Hey, sweetheart, good to see you.
Hi, Max.
A name here says he has access to a boat. Could be his. Maybe. I really don't think the parents had, or he had anything to do with it, at least.
Yeah, I
May
don't
7th.
either.
Yeah, I think he passed a polygraph, actually. We talked about that. So, yeah, he passed a polygraph, evidently, from what we're being told.
Yeah. So he says, right? So
Right. May 7th, in a news conference, RCMP said the search for the siblings was being scaled back, with police saying there was little chance the siblings could have survived several days in the heavily wooded area. RCMP said it has been an, quote, all hands on deck effort, and that while they are scaling back the full search to look at more specific spaces, they are not ending their efforts. Quote, we are not packing up and we are not giving up, unquote, said Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon, District Commander for the Pictou County District RCMP. May 8th through 9th. On May 8th and 9th, police said the RCMP's underwater recovery team searched bodies of water around Lansdowne Station, but the 2-day operation, quote, didn't uncover any evidence, unquote. May 17th and 18th, renewed searches took place on the ground and in the air. RCMP said 115 volunteers came out during the weekend to comb through specific areas again. Quote, this weekend search will be carefully reviewed and assessed by investigators and search managers to help in planning any further ground and air search efforts, unquote, the force said. The children's stepfather said he was thankful for the efforts of volunteers and authorities who took part in the renewed search. Quote, the scenario everyone is hoping for is that we bring them home. That's the main objective. It's always been that from day one, unquote, Martell said. May 28th, RCMP confirmed the siblings were seen in public with family members the day before being reported missing based on video footage and eyewitness accounts. Police also put a call out for dash cam footage or video along Gerlach Road between noon on April 28th and noon on May 2nd. Martell told Global News he had taken a polygraph test, which he said he offered to undergo. Quote, I don't have any results, and I don't know if I can share those results, but they were good in my favor. I'll say that, unquote, he said. And then I have the article in another video where he said, quote, I passed. He said, I passed, so, quote, you can't really point the finger at me anymore,
yeah,
unquote.
if your theory that um, he was supposed to watch the children and they disappeared in that time, he must, if that's what happened, he must feel so guilty. So I can see why he would keep searching and searching and searching.
Yep, I think that's why he was so adamant about searching and trying to find them and locate them. I think he does feel guilty, unfortunately. I
Yeah.
really do. Tam said it's inconclusive, isn't it? He would be flagging that paper, in my opinion. This is my opinion until CMP confirm it. I don't buy it. About the polygraph?
Mm.
Yeah. Anders said, did the police talk to the mother before she disappeared? So she left. They were doing a debriefing of areas that had been searched by the RCMP. She goes to sit in the back of an ambulance. Her mother comes over and talks to her, and she leaves at that point, not talking to Daniel anymore. More on that in just a few minutes. Hey, Norma, good to see you.
I wish the police would tell the public whether he took it and whether he passed it.
Yeah, that would be good to know.
I mean, that's not really state secret if that happened. So
Right.
why not say it?
Yeah, I think it would help. June 1st through 2nd, which would be yesterday and today, the search resumed around the family's home on Gerlach Road for 2 days of targeted searching. Ann Henson, Colchester County Ground Search and Rescue Manager, said this weekend's search was focused on Gerlach Road area along nearby Pipeline Trail where a small boot print was previously found. So it does say here a small boot print.
Yeah.
Okay. A crew of about 75 first resumed the search in rainy conditions on Saturday alongside 3 drones and 7 drone operators. Heavy winds and an incoming geomagnetic storm kept drones on the ground Sunday, Hansen said. Searchers haven't uncovered anything. Searchers searchers hadn't uncovered anything by mid noon Sunday, and a discussion will take place with RCMP on whether targeted search is needed. And that's the end of that article.
I know about the geomagnetic storm because I've been seeing northern lights here. So
Oh,
there,
really?
yeah, there's solar storms. So anybody in northern areas, check your skies at night. It's been really pretty.
Oh, I definitely will. I remember I remember when you first told me about that and I was talking to you in Discord or something and you had me outside at like 4 o'clock in the morning looking at the sky. Was
Good.
so funny. Yes.
Well, especially where you are, because it must be really dark. But you're on a low latitude, so like lower than here.
Yeah.
So you would see them less. But if you look north, you could see them. They've been pretty bright lately.
I would love to see them. That's one thing I really want to see,
I'll
like
put
so bad.
pictures on Discord. Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. I think my Discord link drops if anybody wants to join. It's free and there's always somebody to talk to there. There's always somebody hanging out. All right, I'm going to drop the link. Let me make sure it's the right link. Hold on just 1 minute.
Mhm.
Yep, it is the link. Okay. Okay, so this is Evil Exists, and it's going to give us some information that we didn't have before. And I found this out via Granny's Watching when I was up on her panel today. Hold on just a minute, please, and thank you. Okay, I apologize. Okay, so we're gonna watch this now. Let me say that this channel, I did drop their links. They're called Evil Exist. I cannot personally verify this information. I do not know it to be true. Take it with a grain of salt. I find it interesting. I find it believable. But I wanted to share it with you because it gives us some new aspects to talk about and explore. Oh my gosh. I don't know
Ooh.
how I missed that, but I just checked it. Joyous N, thank you so very much for gifting 20 memberships. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I missed that. And it's like way back too. Um, oh, I hope she didn't leave thinking I ignored her. Goodness
No,
gracious.
and I'm sorry I can't see chat, so I can't help you with that today.
Oh no, that's okay. Joyous N, that was so amazing and so very sweet of you. I am so sorry I missed that. I must have been on another page. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. I can't tell who they went to because it was from a little while ago. I'm so sorry I missed it. But thank you so very much. That was so amazing and supportive of you. And if you were gifted from Joyous and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Joyous thank you. And I'll grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station.
Mhm.
Thank you. Oh, they said she went to the dentist. Okay. Well, I hope
Oh,
she sees that and knows that I didn't miss her. I didn't miss her. I didn't miss her. Okay. So, yeah, I'll just play it and we'll talk about it.
Before I get into this video, I want to give credit to a channel called It's a Criming Shame, who will be linked below. She has been doing great work covering this case, and had a conversation with Daniel. The texts were put out on her channel, but has since been removed because of the hate Malayas started getting online, and
Okay. Now, we talked about the channel It's a Criming Shame, and we went over there and I did pull up the message. She's the one who has the message about Malaya calling the school at 6 a.m. And she also said she had been talking to the grandmother of the biological father who said that they didn't even know that he was living there and wasn't aware. Um, I did share her channel. I did not go over all the text messages because I tried to like send some of you guys over there to watch her stuff because I didn't feel it was fair for me to just, play her whole channel. I did go over there the other night and try to talk to her. I was ignored. I don't know if she doesn't like me because I said I couldn't verify it. I mean, she might like me. I don't know. Maybe she didn't see my chat. Chat wasn't moving that fast. I can't imagine she didn't. Um, But that, you know, I've seen a couple of posts of hers. She is real upset about people, giving backlash. But I think that personally, if you're going to put out messages like that, yeah, you're going to get some backlash. I find it weird that they're talking about hate Malaya's receiving online when, from what I understand, Malaya's Facebook has been deactivated and she hasn't been online. Now, I don't know.
Right.
Um, So evidently she's talking to some of the family members. I can't verify it. It's just what she's saying. So again, take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, I kind of felt that way too, Red Moon. Um, Tam said, I don't think this is Daniel in my opinion. Reason being is the punctuation. It's very possible, very possible. And
Mm.
even if it is an account of Daniel Martell, can you imagine how many fake accounts have been made by now? But we're going to look at it, we're going to read it and see what it says and discuss it.
People twisting the text to suit their own narrative. As many of you know, I share everything in a case, and at this point, the texts have made its way all over social media, from Facebook groups to TikTok. It's everywhere. I'm going to share them. Some of the things that Daniel had to say are definitely interesting, but like everything that comes from an online source, let's take it with a grain of salt. This text reads, Lily and Jack called me dad. They came for me for everything, never Malaya. She had no control over the kids. They were wild with her, and with me, listened and were well behaved. I promised myself I'd always be there for Malaya and the kids, and I am holding that promise.
Now, I think it's possible that he said that, but again, I think it's also possible that somebody else could have said it,
Yeah.
pretending to be him.
I only wish
I'll read it to you so we don't have to like play the whole video where they're reading it. It says, I only wish I could tell you fine details surrounding Malaya and her family and the disappearance. I'll let you know Malaya was set to stay with me and the baby to leave with my cousin, but 5 minutes alone with her mother at the first search briefing, Malaya completely changed. She couldn't even look at me. An hour before this, Malaya told RCMP she felt happiest and safest with me. It was a different Malaya.
That's odd.
That is odd. If that's true, now remember, sorry, sidetracked. Tam said, where is that picture taken? Great area to search. Good point. Blue
Mhm.
Jay said, I kind of believe this. Okay, so we know that per CBC's articles, which I do trust, it was said that they were briefing them on areas that had been searched. She went and sat the back of an ambulance. Her mother was there, and then they leave and don't talk to her anymore. Now, there is rumors that I will play for you in a few minutes that we know they went back to the reservation. There's rumors that they accepted Jack and Lily into they accepted them as part of the reservation, which is something that they wouldn't do before, but they wouldn't accept baby Meadow. So I was wondering if her mother came to the back of the ambulance and said something. Now, this is just me speculating, but I was wondering if her mother was like, you know, see what's happened now. I've told you not to be here. I've told you I didn't like you living this lifestyle, and now you see what happened. So you got this one chance to leave with me right now and not talk to him anymore at all whatsoever. And you can come back with me to the reservation, and I'll make sure that Lily and Jack are accepted into the reservation so that when they come home, they can be with us.
I
That's
find
just.
it, sorry,
No, you're good. I was just going to say that's just my speculation. I have no idea. I wasn't there. I didn't see. I don't know.
I find it odd that, pardon me, that the
You're good.
reservation would not accept the children because they're all her kids.
Right.
I'm not indigenous and I don't know 100%, but I would think her children would be accepted. I don't, unless
Yeah.
they know something that we don't,
Right, and I was wondering why her children wouldn't be accepted in the first place, and then now Lily and Jack are accepted, but baby Meadow's not. And I was thinking, well, maybe it's because they're Daniel's children, but at the same time, I mean, the other children are the other guys, and I don't know, he's not involved.
To me, that's weird,
Yeah.
but that's just me. I don't see indigenous people doing that.
Right.
Like, you know, um, like throwing away children like that. I don't see that at all. Not after what
Right.
they've been through and the way their cultures are across Canada. But
Mhm.
that's just me. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. I agree, and that's why I wanted to bring it up to you guys so we could all talk about it and get
Right.
opinions and things.
Hmm.
Kalisa said, in my opinion, since that channel put out those texts supposedly from Daniel, and those were not all kind toward Malaya, which could have caused backlash, so they should take responsibility for putting those out. I think when you put out text messages from any family in a case like this, you need to expect that some people are going to be really upset about it. I put out a video, like the first video I put out on Jack and Lily. I had people in my comments calling me a tragedy pimp and saying I was just trying to make money on the case. And I was like, no, you don't know me, because like I share missing children's videos every single day. I'm just trying to get the information out. But okay, like you get backlash regardless. You just kind of have
Yeah.
to deal with it.
Yeah.
Becky said her mom got in her head. Possibly, I agree.
Yeah.
Tony, hello. If I haven't said hey to you, nice to meet you. Or if I've called you another name, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to see. I know there's a Tam, possibly a Tom, and now you. So good to see you, and thank you for being here. I apologize if I called you a different name. Said, don't you think if this was not Daniel, he would have addressed that? He would have addressed that with the public. Maybe, but at the same time, if it was me, I might just, let it be out there and just not even worry with it. Because if I go out addressing every single little thing that's said about me, I'm not even going to be able to search. I'm going to spend all my time talking to media.
Yeah.
But you got a point. I
Uh,
need them. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say I would be surprised that Daniel would speak against Malaya like that, but again, that's just my opinion. I think
Yeah,
he's more focused on finding the kids than creating drama.
right. There's more about Malaya, so we'll continue the video
Okay.
if this is him.
Hmm.
Malaya changed. She couldn't even look at me. He also added that Malaya is not doing media. She has a lawyer that is the chief's brother from the reserve she belongs to. In another
Okay, so something for her instead to leave and says Malaya's not doing media. They have a lawyer that's the chief's brother from the reserve she belongs to. Lily and Jack were granted as soon as the disappearance happened, but were denied multiple times in the past. Meadow was not granted status. Sounds very something, and then it changes. My mom was napping and came outside because she heard me yelling that morning for the kids. Malaya was playing on her phone. Mom came out and she said Malaya had a look of worry in her eyes that mom was home. No tears, she wasn't scared. The kids were gone, just a look of worry, like she got caught for something wrong. Which, I mean, yeah, that's going to make people suspect her. I don't know why
Hmm.
you would say that. So that was where the comment about the reservation came from.
Right.
There was something about tell Malaya to meet me by the waterfall. She'll know what that means. Maybe it's later. Oh, okay. Malaya asked me when noticed the kids were gone, should I call the police? And then something both outside. The person responded, oh, okay, wow, that would have been terrifying. Have they ever left the yard alone before? He said, no, only with me because Malaya rarely ever went outside with them.
Hmm.
And then says, I love her more than anything. That will never change. I'm waiting for that chance to relive our first date over waterfalls and walk on a big island beach with the Daniel you first met. She will know what that means. Now, I don't know. Hey, Ron. I don't know what all that is supposed to mean. I don't know if it's accurate, but that's what was found.
Interesting.
Red Moon said that's supposed to be the first time I've heard anything about Daniel's mom being on the property. Yeah, it is. That's a good point. Hey,
Yeah.
Corey.
True. Yeah.
Yep. Aliquin. Oh. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you,
Sorry,
and then
can you go back to that one?
Mhm.
Algonquin people are matriarchal, if
Yeah,
you
I
don't
didn't read
mind.
all of it.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of indigenous people have matriarchal uh, cultures, societies.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Basil. Hey, Rick.
Please, no.
He is here. Hey, Rick. Good to see you. Okay, so let me think. I think the next thing we need to do is I'm going to pull up the stream I was on this morning. I have two timestamps with you guys for you guys. Let me go ahead and drop her link. Hold on. I accidentally backed out of the live.
Hold
Well, I
on,
thought
Basil. Sorry.
you're good. I might not have much more after this though. Hey, Rubber. Thought I had more, but no, that's not it. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. I do believe that's the live stream that I was on with Granny's Watching. If you guys have not checked out Granny's Watching, please do so. Give her a like and subscribe. She is in the description box as well. Do do do. Okay.
Is the pink blanket.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Maybe you can help me. I have two timestamps in my notepad, and the first one is at about 45 minutes. So you'll probably hear me talking on hers and on here. I'll try to distinguish between the two.
Okay. I like
Oh,
her background. It's cute.
yeah, she changes it like every season. I don't know how she does it, but like the cat moves and plays, and like she changes it for the seasons. And then she has it where it looks like a TV. I wish I could figure out how to do that. It's so cool. This might be talking about what we just spoke about, but I'm not sure.
They were granted
Okay.
as soon as the disappearance happened, but were denied multiple times in the past. Let me drop this allegedly. Maybe you have an idea. If anybody has an idea, what does that mean? Like the reserve didn't claim them before, but now claims the children? Meta was not granted status.
Yeah, so that's what we just talked about. I don't understand why two of the children would be granted status, but one wouldn't.
Yeah. I don't know.
Blue Jay said, I guess if Malaya isn't an enrolled member, I can see her kids not being allowed on reservations. Some tribes go by decedent, but most go by blood degree. Well, I think it's her, oh, I had it in an earlier video. It's her grandfather or her father is part of the tribe, and so they are part of the tribe by proxy. But I would think her children would be too. Now, it's a possibility that they're so far down the line with like her, if it was her grandfather, then going down the line, they might say, okay, this is too far down the line that you married or had relations outside of the tribe. But I don't know. I don't see that happening. I know on reservations there's like certain privileges you have and things. I don't know. I suspect, I speculate. Um, I don't know. I don't see them saying that, certain people can't be part of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, we call tribes a band in Canada, not a tribe.
A
That's neither,
band?
yeah, neither here or there, but that's just the word they use. And I know that, well, okay, never mind. I'll think about this before I say anything.
Okay. Corey said Summer Wells' case, her brother was taken, but Lily and Jack are still with mom. Let me see if I can see what you said before. No, I don't know. Reiterate what you're talking about.
You're
Malaya
talking
said,
to Corey, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Anders said Malaya was eager to tell the news that the kids were verbal and would talk to anyone. I think that's because she was concerned about an abduction. off of the gate. Like I think that that's because they searched the areas where they would go and even a little further past that, and they knew because they're with the children every day, you know, the kids would definitely not go past this point. So somebody must have taken them. And if you feel like that's what happened or it's even a possibility with your children, you're going to try to tell the news, you know, whatever it takes to get an Amber Alert issued. Unfortunately, they won't issue an Amber Alert unless they have, like, you know, can confirm they've been abducted.
Yeah. So what I was thinking about before is I know that the Canadian government will give certain privileges to the Indigenous people, and they they look at the background, like, you know, who is Indigenous, mother, father, grandparents, and all of that. So that part, but that's the Canadian government. I'm not talking about the Indigenous local government.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to do more research on that. If there is anything you want me to look up, I can do that later.
Okay. I did want to say too that I was educated. So there was speculation when we were talking in chat, like, could the mother have taken the children and gone to the reservation and have the children there? Like, would the reservation hide the children because it's like, you know, different police status and all of that? I don't think that that's possible because I don't think the reservation would risk getting in trouble like that, especially considering what they did. I don't think they like really getting involved in any kind of governmental things like that.
I don't either. Yeah. I was
And
going to say too, um, if somebody said, well, you said the father is Indigenous, so they would accept the children. If that's true, then it's not a matriarchal society, it would be patriarchal. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay.
So just to make sure, let's do the difference between sorry, I can't type and talk. Well, I know it's spelled wrong. So, no, matriarchal and patriarchal differences. That's doing maternal versus paternal, but it would be, I think it's like the same thing. Maternal means on the mother's side and paternal means on the father's side. So what would it be like? Can you tell
Yeah.
us the,
Well, a matriarchal society would have women as leaders, where a
okay.
patriarchal society would have men as leaders.
Right. Okay. Thank you. And they were talking about the chief's brother was, I think, a lawyer or an officer or something that they were working with a
Lawyer, it
lawyer.
said, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to jump to this next timestamp. That was at 106 because I found some information out that I did not know. And I want to know if you guys know about this. Again, this is Granny who's watching. She's pinned at the top of the comment section and in the description box. Please give her a like and subscribe.
The cousin came forward and said that it was Lily's blanket. Half of it was in a tree and half of it was in the tree.
Okay, hold on. Let me back up a little bit. Which, I mean, I personally think could be very possible because she could have been up and down with the baby and left a message like that. But I don't know. I mean, I think she very well could have been up at 6 o'clock in the morning, called and said, you know, they're not going to be in school, and then lay back down. Hold on.
Right.
That's just my thought.
I can see that happening too, but I still can't fathom that anybody can go all morning until nearly 10 a.m. without laying eyes on their little children.
Yeah, I couldn't. But,
Especially when you feel is, sick. Lily's 6 years old and she's supposedly staying home because of a cough. Now, Ken
right.
said earlier that the blanket that was found, the cousin came forward and said that it was Lily's blanket. Half of it was in a tree and half of it was in the trash.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I had heard about the blanket early on, but I hadn't heard, I'd never heard if it was verified. People were talking about a headband and some other stuff. And so have you guys heard about this pink blanket? There's supposedly a pink blanket. Daniel, it was found only early on in the search. And Daniel said it wasn't the children's, but Malaya's said it was. And if we go to Google, and they said it's in the back of some images of the children, and I think I might have found the one.
That's
Um,
interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard about it, or I don't remember. Maybe.
yeah, I remember hearing about it, but not much on it.
Hmm.
Let me pull up this picture. Um, I think it's this one. I can't move it. Dang it. It's like, I guess we'll go back to this one. Hold on. I think it's this image, but at the very bottom here, right there, there's a pink blanket behind her, and you can tell because it matches her shirt.
Oh yeah, I
I wish I
zoomed in. You can see a little bit zoomed in.
You can.
Yep, there. Yeah. I don't know if it's a blanket. I just see something pink behind her.
Yeah, that I'm thinking that that could be the pink blanket. Evidently Daniel said it wasn't hers or theirs, and then Malaya said it was. Part of it was found in a tree.
That's bizarre. Mm.
Yeah, I found that really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the uncles have authority over their nieces and nephews, where the fathers don't. They help raise the sisters and children. I believe that the whole village would help raise, or the whole reservation would help raise children.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was that's accurate or not, but I don't find it hard to believe at the same time.
Yeah, I believe it. They, indigenous people talk about their aunties and that. So, yeah.
All right. I don't have any more updates, but I am going to pull up the video I did just to reiterate that Danielle said that he did pass a polygraph, and I'm doing a live stream, a few more things on the case, and then we can just kind of talk about whatever y'all want to.
Okay.
That's on a video from Dispatch. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, the kitty is so cute. Yeah, no breakfast was mentioned, and I'm wondering if they got up and walked to the end of the driveway trying to catch the school bus to get breakfast, not to get mentioned.
Yeah, that
There are.
makes sense if they eat at school.
Mhm. Yep.
Video dispatch.
Yeah, the video dispatch they're saying talks about the blanket. I didn't have it in my dispatch, but I think I remember hearing about a blanket found in the woods, but I always thought it was not relevant. But evidently Malaya says it is, or said
Hmm.
it was.
Red
Yeah,
Moon, yes, I remember that too.
yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. I've heard it's been debunked and it wasn't accurate, but that's all I know.
I know that I remember one of the officers talking about the sparkly sticker. So I do
Yes.
remember that he was talking to the dispatch, I think, and he was saying we found what kind of stickers or something does she have on her? Does she have stickers on her backpack, if I remember? So that was on the dispatch call.
Yeah. Yep, I remember hearing about the sticker too. Kalisa, I agree with you. Kalisa said, in my opinion, pretty sure the kids played outside a lot unsupervised just from the parents' kind of hands off approach Friday morning. No breakfast, no one really laying eyes on them. I think so too. I think they played outside a lot by themselves because it's an area where they would probably feel safe. I mean, I think the children were young to be outside by themselves. Mine weren't by themselves, but mine are older, but because there's so much land around here, I've let them play outside and watch them kind of from the window. I don't think it'd be hard to believe because you just feel more protected in a rural area. And sometimes that's not the best thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's why they had it all fenced in, even with the makeshift fence. Because
Yep.
out in the wood, like, out in rural areas, you don't necessarily have a fenced in backyard. Um, you'd have more open space, I would think. Places I've been at.
Yep. And we can look at those pictures
Excuse me.
real quick. So, talking about the fence, I'm going to go way back. Sorry, I've got to delete some stuff.
I love that basil drawing.
It is so cute. Yeah, so if we look here at this fence, we can see that there's this kind of makeshift one, but it appears because there is new boards and two sledgehammers right here. There's the two sledgehammers. Here's the new boards that they were building a fence here. And that makes me question whether the kids had gotten out before and they were kind of trying to make a better fence to keep them in. And then if we go way back to more recently, we will see that they have kind of finished the fence, and I wonder if that's to try to get the baby back.
Mm-hmm.
See, it appears to be finished here, and there's no sledgehammer or anything that I see anyway.
Yeah.
And the property appears to be a little bit cleaner. Looks like that fence, the other one is taken down. I don't
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. That looks like that. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
There's still no gate, though.
No. But you might have to build that separately and put it on.
Right. I mean, they could have finished that gate that same day. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'd love to have timestamps on these pictures. It'd be great. Time and date.
Yeah, that would be good. I think it would be important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
'Cause
because we're just speculating, when was this done? When was that done?
Right. Yeah, I agree, Red Moon. Out in the country, you feel a little bit safer, and sometimes you're not. I'm guilty of it. Um, Corey said it did look like they were trying to fix it. Yeah. Hey, Jennifer Titus, thank you for being here. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. Oh my goodness. Rick said, why is Daniel even thinking of looking to rekindle the first date? Like, what person would even think their partner could think about a relationship at that time? It's weird. Yeah, that's a good point. And Malaya supposedly went on and it almost immediately said that she was single and then deleted her Facebook again, which I also find weird because that channel is getting upset about backlash Malaya received, but I thought she wasn't even online anymore, which is weird. Tab says, I'm wondering if they are waiting on DNA from that blanket. I believe they have that being tested. It's possible.
Okay.
They should, yeah, the baby gate for the front porch and them steps being to the side like that with the 18-month-old walking around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it. Excuse me. I don't think necessarily that they're lying to people, but I do think they're trying to cover up for what I call slightly neglectful parenting. I try not to say real neglectful. Oh yeah, if we had the original pictures, but I think they were in
Yeah.
media releases and stuff.
Thanks, Cara.
Yeah. I agree, Blue Jay, but you wouldn't necessarily think that at the time. It's about time. Thank you for being here. It's about time says in the country there are other things to worry about than just human beings. There are animals and other things. I agree. Yeah, there's a bear around here and things and coyotes and
Mm-hmm. And those water holes and, who knows what in that forest.
Mm-hmm.
Old settlements from way back. Old broken down buildings, wells, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I'll be walking in the woods and we'll find like me and the kids will find like a peach tree and a pear tree and just out in the middle of nowhere and it's where old homesteads used to be.
And those bottles you found, those were so cool.
Oh yeah, I want to go look. Bigfoot. Yep. Beware. He's out there.
Mm-hmm. I heard Bigfoot in the Ontario forest.
Did
I told,
you?
yeah, I told Veronica the whole story.
Oh wow. Have you heard, real quick, we're going to veer off track. I heard, I get into, conspiracy theories and things sometimes. And I heard somebody once say that, like, Bigfoot, you can never get a picture of them because it's like they know where portals are in the woods. So, like, you'll hear them, but then they'll get in a portal and go to another time or place. And that's why we can't ever get pictures. I don't know. I found
I
it
don't
interesting.
know. You know the scientist Jane Goodall who works with chimps?
Yes, I've
So
heard about her.
she said that she believes there may be a large ape that nobody has yet found because there are animals that humans still haven't found or are still finding once in a while in deep forests. But she said she talked to people in different areas of the world who lived in mountainous, forested, remote areas, and almost all of them had stories about some kind of Bigfoot-looking um, animal or humanoid. So this is her speaking about this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, that's interesting, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
yeah.
Carr said my friend said he wanted to dress up as Chewbacca and go into the woods making Chewbacca noises. That would be funny. Oh, speaking of that, I'll tell you a story real quick. When I was like little, I was in the woods at my grandmother's house, and these people lived next door. I think they had an emu, but at the time I didn't know what an emu was, and I'm in the woods in like North Carolina, right? And so I'm just walking around in the woods, doing whatever kids do in the woods, and I hear something behind me and I turn around and there's this humongous emu bird that's bigger than me and starts chasing me. I've never been so scared in my life.
Oh my
It's the craziest thing. And I told them, but I don't think they believe me because I run in and I'm like, this humongous bird is chasing me. I remember it, but they're like, what?
Holy cow.
Tam said, it makes me think they're tracking the parents' movements on that road is why they want the footage. It's possible, but I think with them asking for trail cam footage from the neighbors who have a 7 acre property or 7 parcel property, however you say it, I think they're trying to see if anybody was hanging out in the area, kind of searching and looking for their moment to try to grab the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portals. That's funny.
Yeah. Can they be arrested for circumstantial evidence? Does this case fit? Well, if they could be, I mean, I would think if they could be arrested for what they had done, I would think Jen Soto would be in jail because what she did was way worse. I think it all goes on what you can prove in a court of law.
Yeah.
We
Oh, nice.
had a bear that would walk around on our deck and peer in our sliding glass door at night. Foxes nest under the deck. Aw. It might be a silverback. Yeah, I'll have to find it and drop it in Discord, Kara. Bigfoot DNA has been captured and tested. There is no primate DNA in Bigfoot, only female human DNA and another DNA that has never been noted by scientists. Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, silverback gorillas can be very dangerous. All right,
Mhm.
so this is Daniel Martell speaking, and he says, quote, that's all we have at this point, unquote. He said, that's the only goal I have is to bring Jack and Lily home. Martell had asked RCMP for a polygraph test earlier in the investigation. He told CBC News he passed that test, so, quote, you really can't point fingers at me anymore, unquote. RCMP previously declined to say whether a polygraph would be administered. Martell also addressed rumors that there was a party at the home before the children went missing. Quote, there was no drug party the day before the disappearance, unquote. He said, quote, that's absolute nonsense.
Okay.
So I felt that's important to get out there.
Yes. I still think that RCMP should be more transparent.
I do too.
But especially about things like that. Like the polygraph is not a secret thing that they're doing. I mean, if it debunks him being involved, like, say it, bring it out,
Right.
in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Cara, we could do a conspiracy theory stream one day. That would be cool. It's weird how they said party the night before and maybe they got in someone's baggie. I hope not. So what he's talking about, it wasn't necessarily the night before, but I do have the screenshot way back in my pictures. So I keep closing it out. Hold on. We'll scroll way down and open it there. Ah.
I thought you said I squirrel way down.
Oh, no, I scrolled way down. Sorry. But I went way
No,
too
that's
far
me.
back.
It's my ears.
There we go.
They're not as pointy as Basil's.
I saw a baby rabbit. His ears were not as big as Basil's. There's lots of baby rabbits around here.
Oh,
I think that's for the
yeah,
burial,
I
the
think
trip.
so. Yeah, yeah, 2 p.m.
Hey, Lori. I clean houses for a living, and based on some showers, some humans are part buffoons should live outdoors. I agree.
It's funny.
Part Bigfoot. Okay. Hey, Wendy. I mean, to be fair, you're right. Wendy said he said there was no drug party, not that there wasn't a party, period. And that comment comes from this comment. Now, this was made on Facebook, and they say, quote, they live 500 feet from me, eh? I didn't even know kids lived there at all. I thought it was a drug house. There's always cars there, and it's so odd to me, but I can't remember clearly if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but there were so many cars there on that particular day that the driveway was full, and a car was even parked on the side of the main road. It was like 2 p.m. at the latest. I remember driving past, judging them, thinking how they were probably in there sharing a pipe or whatever. Laugh out loud, and then boom, Friday, this all comes out. Now, I don't believe this. I questioned the measurement of feet in the beginning, but it is used interchangeably. But saying they live 500 feet from me, I mean, it's just feels like you're trying too hard to sound like you're from the area.
Yeah, because you wouldn't write A down. I mean, I do it sometimes when I'm texting and I'm joking around, but not if I'm going to write something that's
Right.
important, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't believe it. And they said Wednesday or Thursday, so for him to say there was no drug party the day before, that's just crazy. I think it's directly in response to this comment that was put on Facebook at some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, RCMP should squash rumors for sure. The rumors don't help at all. But even if they came out and was like, you know, this isn't true, would the media, would people believe it or still run with it?
Right. But at least it would be out there that they said it's not true, or it
Yeah.
is true, or whichever.
Hey, Indy. Tam said it isn't accurate, cannot be used in court, therefore RCMP will not talk on it. That's true.
Yeah.
Red Moon said that's a fake A. Most Canadians don't even say A unless we're joking. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Right, eh?
Yeah. Could be. Kalisa said the drug party was only based on one anonymous Facebook post from a person who claimed they knew a neighbor. They also tried to say no evidence kids lived there, which is ridiculous. Right. That was, thank you, because that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Even in this picture, you can see in the front yard right here, this little thing right here, that's a thing to help a baby walk. That is obviously a child's toy. There is a wagon here. Like, there's, yeah, you knew children lived there.
Yeah.
I mean, the backyard has a daggum swing set. Now, you couldn't necessarily see that from the road, but there's a picnic table, and trust me, I'm sure Lily's screams could be heard for miles. So I don't want to hear that. I know the whole family was there. Yeah. And then there was this other post that I also questioned. And it's again anonymous participant. They said I guess the person's name was April Van Snick. The mother has already been drug tested and removed from the home. RCMP and Department of Community Services and Child Protective Services strongly recommended that she leave the dwelling. Drug paraphernalia was located inside the home along with one of the vehicles. I cannot speak on who owned that vehicle or what exactly was found, but I can confirm that drug paraphernalia was located at the residence. The mother and baby were removed to a secure location away from this property. Now, number one, if you're outside of the situation, who told you this and how do you know this? Number
Yeah.
two, CPS is not called CPS in that area. It's something else. We looked it up one day and I can look that up again. But Department of Community Services and Child Protective Services, that's not what it's called. And the mother and baby were removed to a secure location away from the property. Well, that didn't happen by any kind of child services. That happened when she sat in the back of the ambulance and left with her mother.
Yeah.
So let's see what, hold on. Oh, it is called Child Protective Services.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Hold on, let me see.
I think it is. I don't remember.
CPS in Nova Scotia refers to Child Protective Services. These services are provided by the Provincial Department of Community Services. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's called Provincial Department of Community Services, but I could have been wrong. I apologize if I was. Child Welfare Services. That's what I thought it was. Child
Right.
Welfare Services includes protection and support for children in care.
It's
So,
usually different in different provinces too.
okay,
We
that
have
makes sense.
10 provinces and 3 territories in the north.
Mm-hmm.
So they each have their own departments.
Right. Okay. Um, Marta, good to see you. I think it would be difficult for someone to abduct both at the same time. Right, and it's not statistically well known.
Yeah. I
I thought,
spelled pick wrong. Oh
oh,
well.
you're good. I thought it was said from the woman who gave out her video footage who said that she said she was judging them, not knowing them about the drug party, which was her escape plan. I don't think it was said by that. I'll try to pull her interview real quick because there is
Ooh,
one where she talks.
gift.
Yes, thank you, Miss Scorpio Rising, for gifting a Speculation Station membership. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and that went to Batty Tiara. Batty Tiara, if you are here and you are where you're gifted, please tell Miss Scorpio Rising thank you, and I will grab the crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much for that. In Alberta, it's CPS, like Child Protective Services.
Hmm.
There is a reward of up to $5,000 for the findings or anything leading to an arrest. I was hoping Crime Stoppers would post one. Sometimes money talks, sadly. Yeah. Yeah. It's sad that sometimes you do have to post a reward, but hopefully they'll post one. Well, thank you, Tony. Orange Rose says Speculation Station. Tam says CAS, Children's Aid Society. Okay, yeah, see, I figured it was something else. I'm going to see if I can find this interview.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways of saying it. So not sure what we have in BC. I can't look it up right now. It doesn't matter anyway. It's just curiosity.
Yeah. Yep, here we go. Hold on. Okay, so this will give us a video. This is from 11 days ago, and it's from the CBC, a trusted news source. It says neighbors hand RCMP days of footage leading up to disappearance of Nova Scotia children. They're probably going to play an ad, but we will watch this.
Let QVC make this your summer.
I'm good, thanks. Oh my goodness. Miss Sarah, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so very much. Let me pause that.
Woohoo!
Those went to Just Lurking, Belinda Morris, Roxy A, Roxy Stone, and Debbie Dew. If you are here and you were gifted and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Miss Sarah thank you, and I will grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you, Miss Sarah. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Hey, Kate. Kay, good to see you. Okay, I'll back this up and listen to the whole thing. This is the neighbor who gave the trail cam footage.
Melissa Scott's trail cameras might contain clues about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. RCMP asked her for days of footage as the investigation into the missing children approaches the 3-week mark.
It's scary, especially not knowing what happens. We definitely keep our kids a little closer to home now.
The 4- and 6-year-olds were reported missing from this home on May 2nd, launching a massive search of the woods surrounding the home. No trace has been found, and RCMP haven't ruled out the case is suspicious. This is some of the footage Scott gave police. She says RCMP major crimes officers came to her home this week, asking for everything on her 7 cameras, starting April 27th, 5 days before the kids were reported missing. 2 of Scott's neighbors were also asked to provide footage to RCMP. She says the officers also asked about her family's vehicles to rule out local traffic in the footage.
Possibly they are wondering if they didn't go missing earlier, or maybe somebody who isn't local to the area was around beforehand.
This road is the most direct path from Scott's property to the home the kids went missing from. We drove between the 2 places. It's about an 18-minute drive down rough dirt roads. Straight through the woods, it's about 5 kilometers.
Oh, yeah, okay. But if they were doing a 6-kilometer search in a circle, they would want to go in this area. When I heard this, I was thinking that they're definitely thinking they're asking for the trail cam footage to see if somebody was lurking in the area, possibly lying in wait to grab the children, especially if the children played outside a lot by themselves. They could have just been waiting for the right moment, unfortunately.
That would take a lot of work. That would take someone knowing the kids are there, knowing, that's...
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm thinking that since they've had time to look at the trail cam footage and review it, and they decided to do another search this Saturday, that possibly trail cam footage didn't show anything. So they went back to focusing on maybe they walked off in the woods.
Yeah, because the trail footage is, I would assume, is east, because these maps are usually north is up, east is right, west is left, south is down. So Glengarry Station is east of the house, and you can see the power lines on the left and the gas line on the left. So
yep,
they said they were searching around the gas line, so it's totally opposite from Glengarry Station.
So maybe they've got a good idea of Glengarry Station. Sorry, y'all, if that's loud. I had to turn it on for Basil. And they found nothing, and so they decided to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, thank you for being here. They said, I wonder if she kept copies of the footage. I think she did. I think that's how we were able to see the footage that she just played, because this was after she handed it over.
Yeah.
Wendy said, why wasn't that asked for in the first week? And that's a good question. I think in the interview she talks about they apologized for not coming to get it sooner. Unfortunately, I called in on someone not long ago about how they grabbed their kids. It ripped our hearts out to see it. They did nothing. Go figure. I've seen some of that. I've seen parents pick their children up by the arms. I can't stand it. It's awful.
Yeah.
I know people. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll say it after. Red Moon said what?
Red Moon said, I know people say it's hard to adopt two children at once, but vulnerable child could be an easier target. They may just go with someone. I think that that's very possible, especially considering that the mother was talking about how easygoing and polite, how they would talk to anybody. I think that that's the thought process.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, Ricky and Corey were talking about those would have been the days that Lily and Jack were known to be in school, and that's right. That's why I'm thinking that they were looking for somebody possibly hanging out in the area,
Yeah.
like somebody camping in the woods or somebody just walking around looking like they don't fit. She talks about they were asking for cars from her and her family specifically so they could kind of rule out any vehicles in the area that weren't necessarily supposed to be there.
Right. So you can see all the little dots that are houses probably on this photo.
Mm-hmm.
It would surprise me that the Glengarry station lady is the only one who would have forest cam or trail cam. So there must be more people that have been asked, and I mean, look at them all. You can see all the little white dots and the
Yeah.
little roads.
Yeah, she said that there was a couple of neighbors that they got footage from as well.
Right.
David and Catherine, thank you for being here and thank you for that child. It's called Child Welfare Services. I appreciate that. Hey, Sherry. Marta said Daniel's mom's home looks like lab more than Daniel's place. Could Daniel's mom be the one with seedy visitors? I don't know, and I don't know that we would know. I don't want to put that on them right now. I want to be very careful. If it is something to be concerned about, I would say the police would know about it and handle it. I try to be very careful talking about that. I mean, we speculate and talk about all of our things, and even if we agree or disagree, so it's a possible speculation, but I have no way to verify it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the children were out on Wednesday and Thursday. They were last seen by the bus driver Tuesday afternoon when he dropped them off at the end of the driveway. I have heard that a parent has to be there for a child to get dropped off or picked up. And so everybody was thinking that something possibly happened Wednesday or Thursday, and then they were reported missing Friday until we got the information that they were seen in public Thursday, and that's why that news release was so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were ruling out local cars too.
Mm-hmm.
They need to dig deeper with those that live in that property. In my opinion, they will find the answer within that family circle. They are all suspicious to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Daniel said they would take candy from anybody. That's awful. I'm so sorry. Well, I hate to hear that, I should say.
Yeah. I'd like to know more about the mother and the brother.
I would too.
To be honest.
I've heard the brother doesn't live there anymore. Can't verify it though.
And
what?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, seeing everything moved and everything cleaned up, like you said, they could be doing it. He could be doing it to get the baby back, but also it could be as well the mother moving back into the trailer, or to the trailer.
Yeah, because that goes back to a picture we have where the camper door is open. Here, I'll finish playing this and then we'll look at that picture.
Sorry, I interrupted you when you were going to read Anders' comment.
You're good. Anders said, I have heard that most surveillance cameras tape over after a certain time, but trail cameras are motion activated, I think. Yes. They are motion activated, so if anybody is walking within the line of sight of the trail cameras, it's going to pick them up.
Yeah, that's what mine is, exactly like that lady's, and that's what it does.
Okay, yeah. I want to get some, but I don't have any yet. Sherry says, I'm glad you're covering this case. Well, thank you for being here, Sherry. I appreciate it. Okay, so we'll finish listening to this, and I'll pull up that picture.
I did mention to them that I was very happy to see them and glad that they were canvassing a little further and looking at trail cam footage. And they did respond saying that they probably should have been around earlier.
RCM.
So they did admit that they should have been around earlier, which I found interesting considering it's the RCMP or the actual police. I think they do feel a little guilty about not grabbing it sooner.
Yeah.
Years ago, people with TB, the doctors put their beds outside to get fresh air. Oh yeah, I've heard about that with tuberculosis. My Mr. Speculating's aunt worked in a tuberculosis ward in Arkansas in a place that's been shut down now, but there's pictures of his aunt out there and there's beds all out on this like big huge deck thing that they have where they would put them outside.
Yeah. Nice.
Why
Yeah.
are you done chatting, Blue Jay? Did I miss some of your comments? All I see is that one that says I'm done chatting, that one, and then Daniel said they would take candy from anybody. Oh, I wonder if they had cameras up, but they were removed the day the kids vanished before the police arrived. That's possible, but I don't think they would have cameras up at that house necessarily, considering the outside and the way it looks and all of that. I doubt they would have had cameras or anything like that, but it's possible.
And those trail cams are not cheap either.
No, they're not. Wendy said, I know addicts who were good parents, so in my opinion, it's not always about substances. Sober knuckleheads exist as well, unfortunately, and I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I don't see an abduction, especially 2 children, and pretty well ruled out. No evidence supporting that. In my opinion, they are on to the parent or parents just waiting to trip them up some way, somehow. It's possible.
In my opinion, but that's just my opinion, I don't think somebody was lurking and waiting. It would have been, if they were abducted, it would have been a case of an opportunity presented itself. I can't speak, sorry.
No, you're good. I think that's very possible too. An opportunity presented itself, and it's just kind of the children being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because we have heard that, I've heard, and I can't verify, but I've heard that that's a high trafficking area, bad for trafficking. But I don't know for sure. I've just heard rumors saying that.
Right. Sherry.
Yeah, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. And thank you for your support. I will grab the crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sherry. It makes you angry? See, I don't know. I can't verify it. I could be completely wrong in that. Just talking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I do know a high-ranking general is watching this case too, and is from the area. I don't find that hard to believe at all.
Interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hellbor. I'm gonna call you Hellbor because I don't know how to say your first name. But what is this? TFS. I don't know what that means. Updated info. I've been listening while doing chores. Have a great day, everyone. You too. Okay. So I'm gonna finish this interview.
MP would not answer CBC's questions, including why they are seeking trail camera footage from before the disappearance and why they are identifying local vehicles. Nicola Sagan, CBC News, Glengarry Station, Nova Scotia.
I like that last bit of video. You can see a lot from it.
Oh! Let's pull it up again. Hold on.
Just a few seconds, but...
Dang it.
You can see how far the forest goes and sort of the hilly area.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we see aerial views, we're looking straight down. We're not seeing the contour of the landscape.
Right. Let me try to see if it'll pull it back up. Oh, yep. Oh, I've got it. Hold on. Hold on, you can't see it. Yeah, that's a good aerial photo that's showing the landscape, and you can see the hills. I mean, just judging by like how far low down the house is here, and then this open hill up here, it's like way up higher.
And down below, you can see all the trees that are down.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly dead trees, although this is in springtime, but you can see that some of them are light green, so those would be the new leaves. And then there's a lot of just standing trees, standing trunks.
Yeah. AM said, I would say if we place GPS trackers to our luggage, our cars, etc., it's not a bad idea to place one on kids' clothing at all times. Yeah, I've heard about people sticking them, like sewing them into their shoes and things.
Yeah. It looks like there is a rail near that pond that we looked at. Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah. So that must go down a little bit, like a little bit of a cliff.
Oh, yeah, it probably goes under the road maybe a little bit. And this slopes down, so it might come out like over here somewhere or something.
There might even be a culvert in
Yep.
there, you know, or two.
That could be, considering that it's like right beside the house, that could be the culverts he was searching. Possibly, if there is one there.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about Halifax, Jeremiah. There have been other cases where children have been abducted from bus stops and many other attempts at abductions from bus stops. We need to remember some areas are some are crimes of opportunity. Yeah, I think the Amber story, she might have been abducted from a bus stop. The girl that the Amber Alert was named after, excuse me. Yeah, it does look like you'd need a machete.
Mm-hmm. And a little kid would be able to crawl under all this crap.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Yep. The chances of an abductor being in such a desolate area are slim, statistically. Yeah. I feel they had to be on that road. I've heard that they tracked to the end of the driveway, but I'm not positive in that. Oh yeah, we were talking. A lot of people have told me about that. The school janitor hurting that girl.
What about it? Sorry?
The UK case, 10-year-old girls who knew the guy that killed them, he was the school janitor. They've brought that up a couple of times.
Yeah.
In chat.
You can see the horizon on this one. You can also almost see a line under the very top.
Here?
Yeah, like just below that a little bit. If you go to right there, that could possibly be the power line.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because it looks like it goes like that and goes behind the trees over here and then up back that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either the gas line or the power line.
And you don't see a lot of farms, you know, like they're living in the bush, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of trees and woods.
Yeah. There's one little green spot straight up from the house. Yeah.
Yep.
But otherwise, you don't see any fields or anything farm-like.
Right. And then even the trees, like right here, it's like you've got the tops of some trees, but this is thick green.
Mm-hmm. So those would be like pine trees that don't lose their leaves. It's a mixed forest.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the adults didn't get up till 10 and realize. Yeah, that's the story, Lori. They were last seen in their room at 8 a.m. Lily was supposedly poking her head in and out of the room. Jack was in the kitchen playing. And then they don't hear anything and realize that they're missing.
I'm taking a screenshot of this. I'll look at it more later.
Okay. The dogs tracked to the road, then nothing. The RCMP is not issuing an Amber Alert. After that makes me suspicious of their involvement. Interesting theory. I think in order to issue an Amber Alert, they have to be, for sure that they were abducted. I mean, they could have tracked to the road and possibly walked down the road. I'm not sure.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Corey, there's a lot of cases like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But where did this mother could taste the school at 6 that has this? Okay, yeah, that message was from, okay, so It's a Criming Shame says that they have talked to the mother via Facebook. it's not the mother, it's the grandmother of the biological father. She says that she has talked to them via Facebook and talked to Daniel Martell as well via Facebook. I can't verify that, but that's where that comes from. There is a text message that states that Malaya called the school at 6 a.m. to say they wouldn't be there. And I can pull that up in just a second. These are more recent pictures of the area, and as you can see, the door is open. Now, maybe the door was just open when they took that screenshot, but it's made some of us question if they're still staying there or not, or if they've moved into the trailer.
There is nothing on the front of the on the dashboard except for one little white-looking thing. I don't know what that is, but if
Yeah.
somebody was living in there, that probably would have, maybe a flower pot or something.
Yep, something would be there. Yep, you're right.
Just my opinion, speculating.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let me pull up my live from the other day, and I'll show you that text message because she has since removed it. Hold on just a minute. There it is. Let me pull it up. Okay, so this is from It's a Crime and Shame. Again, they reference in this live talking to the paternal grandmother, which is the mother of the biological father. This is one message they said, and it reads, Daniel told me that day we talked that Malaya left a message around 6 in the morning on May 2nd to the school switchboard to say they wouldn't be in school.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from. I can't verify who she's talking to, if it's accurate or anything. I just shared that and then this message, and then I referred everybody over to go check them out. And it's hard to read it. I read it on the live stream, but it's hard for me to read it. It says, when Daphne said, sharing, she was trying to say we had no idea of where they lived until we saw photos, I guess, of the property on social media, but Malaya gave me her address on May 2nd when I messaged her after learning the children's disappearance from a friend who saw it on Facebook. So, again, I'm not trying to be rude. Number one, I can't verify it. And number two, it sounds like he wasn't very much involved in their life if he didn't even know they had been living there when they were living there for like 3 years. So I don't know how much information we can get from that, unfortunately.
That's a long time in the life of a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Right. Orange said, is it possible the kids went to wait for the bus and the bus driver came by either in the bus or his car and they got in with him? In my opinion, he gives off some kind of vibes. It's possible. I don't know. I've heard people say things about the bus driver. I personally, if he had anything to do with it, I don't think he would talk to the police. But there's cases where, abductors are heavily involved in the search and things like that. So,
Yep.
It's possible. Yeah. I feel like she could have called because she might have been up and down with the baby and decided to go ahead and call because they were going to lay back down. But I don't know.
Would the school staff would be there at 6:30 though?
Well, not necessarily, but it said that she called a switchboard, so maybe a messaging service.
Right. Pardon me. Yeah.
Again, thinking of myself, if I was going to call the kids out, I would set an alarm on my phone for like right as school was starting and call. So
yeah.
That's just me personally, though.
Oh, that case was terrible. Little Jamie.
He was in the shop with his mother, and 2 10-year-olds snatched him and killed him and left him on a tree. Oh, I heard about that. That was horrible. You think that, I think statistically, if somebody took them, they would have known the parents.
Yeah. Yeah, they would know the kids were there if it was a planned abduction.
Right. The parents left their little girl home alone as she walked to the neighbor for ice cream. She had asthma attack and was laying in the field. Oh my God. I saw that. Oh.
Mm.
My area has a system to call your kids in late or sick. Okay, so it's not unusual for them to call like an answering service.
Mm.
Oh wow. I said the bus driver's worth looking at, but I really think he's innocent. I do too
Mm.
personally, but it's possible. I mean, thinking about Lily screaming, like I think maybe to go with somebody she would have had to know him.
Oh, that's true. Ooh, that's a great point, actually.
Yeah, so maybe she did know him, or maybe I mean, and maybe that's why everybody's talking about the bus driver. I mean, if it's a repeated pattern and she's used to leaving with the bus driver, it's
Yeah,
possible. Or somebody that looked like him, maybe not necessarily him, maybe somebody that looked like him.
yeah, because they did mention that bald guy with the mustache.
Yep.
I mean, that was just, but yeah.
Yeah. Kara said so. I do wonder if if there are neighbors who may have lured them out. I think that's possible. One of Jamie's abductors grew up to be a wrong'un even when he
Yeah.
was released.
Oh, he's horrible. His name is John Venables, and he's been in prison, in and out of prison with um, pictures of children and crap like that. The other one did okay. The other one stayed quiet, but Venables has been in trouble for a long time. This was years
Yeah.
ago.
That's crazy.
10 years old. Can you believe that? The things they
Yeah.
did to him were just horrendous.
That's some kind of, in my opinion, that would have to be some kind of abuse they were suffering and they were
Right.
acting out. But I don't know the story off the top of my head. Kalisa said, I think that could be a good theory, especially if a neighbor saw the kids playing alone all the time. Yep, I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
I hope the neighbors were scrutinized, but they did say that they have questioned over like a pretty large number of people. I would think that included the neighbors, but hell, that one there's one story, I think it might have been that one abducted in plain sight, where they were like they knew the neighbors like really well, like the wife might have known him a little too well, and abducted her daughter not once but twice.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, in little Tori Stafford in Ontario, she was abducted by a female at the end of the school day. She just walked away with her, holding her hand.
Oh wow.
And look at Russell Williams going into his neighbors' houses and doing nasty things in the girl's bedroom.
Yep. That case was crazy.
Oh, we never finished that case.
We need to finish it. Marta said if the mom called in at 6:30, then unless there are more kids on that street, the bus may have gone by. Yeah, that's true. If he knew he wasn't supposed to be there and it was called in early enough and dispatch let the bus know they weren't to go there or they weren't going to be there, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, both the husband and the wife knew that neighbor too well. Yeah. Like that neighbor like manipulated them and was like having relations with both the mother and father of the little girl and abducted the little girl twice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What a
That
creep.
case was crazy.
I mean, consenting adults I don't have a problem with, but
Yeah, but just doing it to try to get at the child, that was insane.
yeah.
Liddy, good to see you. It is said that Lily took her backpack. I've since heard that it was full of toys, so like maybe to go out and explore and take the toys to play with in the woods or something. I have a daughter who does that all the time. Um, I originally thought that she took her book bag to try to go to the end of the driveway to catch the bus and get them to school to try to get something to eat or something like that. If there was indeed toys in it and she took it out like that, it would make me think they walked away as well.
Where did you hear about the toys? I haven't heard that.
It's in one of the messages I think that woman has, so it can't be verified.
Oh, okay.
but rumor has it, I should say.
Hmm.
They would surface after gases are released. Cadaver dogs would sense decomposition. They can
Mm-hmm.
sense at a very good a depth. Yeah.
Yeah, 30
Misty.
meters. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is. I never knew that they could smell underwater that far. Misty, thank you for being here. Said on one podcast, I don't remember which one, there was mention of the bus driver's brother had some kind of record. I've heard that, but I can't verify it.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who realized they were off school came back to the property knowing the parents
Mm-hmm.
were, yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah.
could have drove by and see the kids possibly playing out close to the street or something, and then came back by and saw that they were just there, and maybe stood there for a minute to see if there was going to be some type of reaction, and then grabbed them or something. But I would think Lily would scream.
Yeah.
Could be wrong there.
Red Moon have said the same thing, that he might have gone to the end of his route and come back with an empty bus and seen them on the side of the road, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Very possible.
Yeah.
So, ways no toys found drop. No, I don't know of any toys found drop. No, I haven't talked about that, Cindy, but I need to look into that. I saw some stuff on it. I want to grab it. Cadavers usually drink the water to get the scent, then they go on a boat to locate the scent. Really? I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah, I would have thought they could smell maybe half a foot down into the water. Not 30 meters. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot. I feel they wanted to water too. We tried looking into the bus driver's brother, but couldn't find any record. Right. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Cara. Laura, thank you for being here. My question would be, was the bus driver working that day or did he call in sick? I think he was working that day. But I don't know. It's a good question.
When was he interviewed? What do we know the date?
Let's pull it up. Oh. Okay, let's look at that article again. I think it's this one. Yep. Okay, so the only article that I've found that talks about the bus driver, let me make sure y'all can see it. Nope.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I just, I had the wrong page pulled up.
Under the picture, it said bus driver said on the last page that you had up.
Let's see. I can't even sleep. Is that what you were talking about?
No, it said May 10th. Oh, right there. Yeah, underneath. Yeah, right there.
Okay, so let's see. This is from Evil Exist. Hold on. Now, I can't verify this. We'll go back to the article, but this is what Evil Exist said, who brought us the text messages that could or could not be true.
The case of missing siblings, Jack and Lily Sullivan, has captured the attention of people around the globe. Many are invested in this case, praying and hoping that the children are found.
Lily, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. That was so sweet.
You called her Lily.
I'm sorry, Laura. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Laura, thank you for becoming a member. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. I will grab the crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much. That was so sweet. Remy said, plus the bus driver knows Lily screamed. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's way too risky for the bus driver, especially with two kids. But, I mean, they would willingly go with him with no resistance, more than likely. Sherry, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Wow, that was so sweet of you. Thank you so very much.
so generous in our chat.
Yes, our speculating family is so awesome. Lily was too unpredictable. She screamed for no reason. Yes, she did. We heard that in the video, birthday video.
From the beginning, the stepfather and mother have been under intense scrutiny due to a number of red flags in their statements. We know that the children last attended school on Tuesday, the 29th
Yes,
March. They went to school and returned home on the school bus.
you could
And
you
today,
could see.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You could see the brown mark on his neck. I just wanted to point it out. If you back up just a
Yep.
little.
So I was wondering this earlier. So that's like where it's like a muscle, or like the muscles in your neck go down at a V right there. So it could be like an indentation. Sometimes it sticks out in
Yeah,
people's necks. You know what I mean?
right. But it is discolored though, and he's got a red mark on the back of his neck in this picture.
Yeah. Could be rubbing of a collar. I don't know. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
attended school on Tuesday, the 29th March. They went to school and returned home on the school bus, and today we hear from that bus driver. He seems heartbroken at the news of their disappearance. This is bus driver, Brian Ward, and he has to answer questions from the other children on the bus every afternoon about whether Jack and Lily have been found. Upon getting these questions, he responds to the children, saying not yet, but police are doing everything they can to find Jack and Lily. This picture broke my heart, as he pointed out their seats on the bus. Lily and Jack's seat in the front, to the right, has sat empty, with their names still taped above it, since April 29th, when Mr. Ward last dropped them off at the end of their dirt driveway after school. I'm devastated. I'm absolutely devastated, said Mr. Ward, whose children Nicholas Carr, who is 4 years old, and Troy Carr, who is 7 years old, are friends with Lily and Jack, and often sat with them on the bus ride home from school. He says he can't even sleep at night. Both kids attend Salt Springs Elementary, a small rural school about a 20-minute bus ride from their home that serves 86 children from communities across southern Pictou County. The school
This was from 3 weeks ago, and it's going over the article that I was going to read. So I'll continue playing it because it's going to read the article I was talking about pretty much, but I'll look for an updated one after this.
I just want to mention Salt Spring School is beyond, looks like it's beyond the power lines from this picture.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they could have tried to walk there, but they wouldn't know how to go through the woods to get there, I assume. So that probably wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I think they'd be too little to know the direction, but it's just a point to make that's on the way to, past where the little boot print was seen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
School has been provided with psychologists, counselors and other school board support staff to help staff members and students with questions and providing calm coping strategies during this difficult time. Mr. Ward is being proactive in his search for Lily and Jack too. He headed out into the woods as soon as he heard the children were missing. He rode around on his ATV to search for them. He described the kids as full of life, always smiling and laughing. Lily would let out these high-pitched squeals, and she was a bit of a drama queen. He gave an example. If she had a sore foot, she'd say her foot was broken. Jack sometimes fell asleep on the way home from school, but more often than not he was chatty. He'd say, "Bus driver. Hey bus driver." If he was trying to talk to you and he couldn't get your attention, the little bugger would take his boot off, throw it at you. Jack is famous for throwing his boots at me.
Now, that is a learned behavior, in my opinion. I think that, I've said this before, I think that Jack could be trying to get attention of adults around him, possibly mom and dad, and saying, Mom, Mom, Dad, Dad, and nobody's paying attention, so he took something and threw it at them and has since learned that in order to get an adult's attention, you need to throw something at them.
Yeah. And maybe the adults do the same thing.
It could be. Maybe. I think that's not true. I don't think it matters if it's windy. I think they can still track it, but I could be wrong. I think I've heard. I think I thought that at one point too, but looked it up and found out that if a dog, even if it's windy, the dog can still track the scent.
I find the bus driver is telling us a lot about the kids, almost more than the parents themselves.
That's true. Windy, that's also true. Boot print could have been planted, hence the dog not hitting on the scent.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Kraka.
Oh, my stomach's growling.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in a minute.
Sadly, after all these days, Lily and Jack are still missing, and while authorities have scaled back the search, I do think they are looking at things from a more investigative approach now, and suspecting foul play.
Now that was 3 weeks ago. I'm gonna see if they have anything else on the bus driver more
The
recent.
stepfather
At least they titled this Britton County, Nova Scotia. Somebody tried to play it like their remains had been found, and it was just disgusting.
Well,
Yeah, I don't see anything else about the bus driver.
no.
And I get concerned. I can't verify a lot of that stuff, so I'm not going to play it. But you can definitely check out Evil Exists if you want to watch any of those videos.
Right.
Was CPS involved before this? I don't know. I would assume not because we haven't heard that they were involved, but then again, I don't know if they would release that they had been previously involved. Did Jack wear boots every day though? That's a good point, Orange Rose. We were talking about wearing boots and things. I can't verify if he wore boots every day or not, but Dylan Ellers, who went missing almost 5 years to the day, from 37 minutes away, was also wearing boots. But I think it's just because of the terrain and the area, how it's heavily wooded and there's snow and rain and stuff. I think it's just normal that a lot of kids in that area would probably wear boots.
Yeah, I agree. In rural areas like that, in May, early May, it'll be wet. You know, even in their backyard, it would be wet.
Yeah. Wendy said, when would it matter if your dog is lost? It's why you put dirty clothing around so your dog might pick up on it and find its way back. Really? I had no idea. That's interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind. Hey, Jola. Since this case popped up, I'd say 98% of YouTubers disgust me. I lose hope in people more and more every day.
Yeah.
Dogs can track when it's windy. Has it rained since the kids went missing? Yes, it has. It was raining that day, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
If CPS was involved prior, this doesn't look good. Yeah, but I don't know if they
Yeah, we haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that either. And I can't verify it unless a verified news source put it out. I try to verify everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or
you
if
do.
if I can't, I tell you I can't verify it.
Yeah.
That is right. April showers bring May flowers. Oh yeah, because of the example, people saying remains found and making it look like it was Lily and Jack. Yeah, it's disgusting. I never understand. Like I don't know. I'm honest and I do my very best not to clickbait people because what you're going to tell somebody that you found, like, make it seem like remains of Jack and Lily were found, and then they click on the video or you clickbait them or whatever. They click on the video and find out that that's not true. Maybe you got a lot of views for that one video, but you sunk your channel in the process. Like, why even do it?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Viewers aren't dumb, you know.
Right. And they're just going to get mad at you and be like, why did you do this? Like, why did you make it seem like it was one thing, but it wasn't? Bad girl, no, she wasn't saying me. She was saying, I had said an example of somebody saying that remains were found and made it seem like they were talking about Jack and Lily. That's what she was referencing, that people do that, and it's disgusting. You think rain would wash the scent? I don't think so. Let's look it up before I go for the day.
If they can smell 30 feet or 30 meters in a lake, I don't think a little bit of wetness would bother them, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Or wash away the scent.
Yeah, I would think if they can smell 30 meters into the water, it wouldn't either. So it says rain can dilute and wash away scent, but a lighter drizzle can amplify scent. High humidity can be an advantage for hunter dogs, but heavy rain quickly washes away scent particles and clogs up pathways. Interesting. This one. Can dogs smell better when it rains? Here's what research says. Whether dogs smell better when it rains is an interesting query. After all, weather conditions. Okay, let's look for the answer. When it rains, scent can be impacted by a variety of ways, depending on how much it rains and the type of scent. First of all, when it rains, the humidity levels in the air increase. Humidity is the result of presence of water vapor in the air. Humidity levels rise as a result of raindrops. Yes, according to research, humidity has been found to help improve a dog's olfactory skills. This probably due to improved humidity of the dog's nose. Humid, wet noses are known to do much better in trapping scents. On top of this, increased humidity can increase the intensity of odors, which in turn helps dog become better at tracking it. These factors combined play a role in why search and rescue dogs perform better when the surrounding relative humidity is high. Indeed, search dogs are often worked when it's muggy and damp, since scents need moisture to survive, explains Kat Albert in the book Detective Dogs.
That's very interesting.
While increased humidity can improve a dog's sense of smell, the effect of rain on a canine olfactation may vary. It's based on the intensity of the rain. A light drizzle or a heavy downpour can make a major difference. In the case of light rain, this can help increase a dog's ability to detect odors. As the drops fall to the ground, scent molecules may be released into the air from the wet vegetation or soil. On top of this, scent molecules may be trapped in wet soil and in puddles, which can help preserve scents for longer periods. On the other hand, heavy rain decreases the scenting ability in dogs because heavy rain forces scent lower to the ground, says one study. Interesting.
It's very scientific.
It is. That article is from Dog Discoveries, so you could go to dogdiscoveries.com and find it, or just ask Google or your search engine, would rain or wind wash away the scent for cadaver or search dogs, and it should bring that up.
Thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am. The scent will linger, though, if it's their normal play area, I would assume. That's true. A 15-year-old fell into the East River in New York City and hasn't been found due to its strong undercurrents. Are there rivers in the area? There is a lake. I don't know of rivers necessarily. And they. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, there are creeks in the area. You can see them from on those in those pictures of aerial pictures. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I'll try to pull them up.
I didn't mean to break your.
No, you're fine, sweetheart. I don't know. She says there's creeks. There could be creeks. I just know of the lakes, and they said they did have divers out.
I could see a creek on the other side of the road from them. I could see a dark line, maybe not in this picture, and then it crossed the road to the left of what this picture shows, maybe in this one.
Yeah, that's the lake where they had divers. try to zoom in.
It sort of followed a dark line.
So that may be something right there.
Yeah.
It looks like it
Oh, and
goes
then,
kind of like a creek.
yeah, right, up and to the left of where you are right now, before the line. No, come back down, please.
Okay.
Keep going, down, further. Okay, stop.
Okay.
Okay,
Right
right
here?
there. Yeah,
Yep. That looks like that could also be a creek.
could be, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. This is just speculation.
But we
I,
see black dots, and so the black dots may be connected by creeks and ditches and stuff like that.
right. And when looking at the video and the articles, we saw that, it kind of slopes down. So therefore, water is going to run down that way, especially with heavy rains in the area.
Yeah. And up at the top above Lansdowne Station, right in to the
Hold
left
on.
of, oops.
No, you're good. Oh,
Yeah, right in there. Further up a little bit, so you can see darkness.
right there by the road?
Across the road.
Across the road.
Yeah,
Right here?
right there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's culverts, it means there's little creeks and things.
Yep.
So they run back and forth. They're not following the road. They go anywhere they want, downhill, as you just said.
Right. Daniel did say he was running through waist deep water at one point. Yep.
Even at the top left of this picture, there's another dark spot that looks like the one that's near their house, above Lansdowne on the top left. Keep going, up, top left
Up.
of the whole picture.
So I need to zoom out?
No, it's okay. Between Lansdowne and Assumed, up on the left.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep going left. Go, 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 go. Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's definitely looks like a lake of some sort.
Good team, eh? What teamwork, eh?
Yeah. Absolutely. Cara, I hope you have a good day and feel better soon.
Bye, Tara.
I think with that, yeah, I'm going to go too for the day. And I want to thank you all for being here. And thank you, Abellis, for coming up with me today.
Thanks for
Eh?
having me, eh? And I'll jump off and go say hi to Chat. Bye,
All right,
Alex.
love. Bye.
Bye, Basil.
He says bye. He's laying down behind me. All right, y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all your thoughts, opinions, and speculations in chat. If nobody has told you, you are important, you are enough, you are special, and you are loved. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.